What I wanted to talk about this morning, the theme that I'd like to bring up is momentum. Momentum. And the idea that our thoughts have momentum. And like a snowball that starts very small at the top of the hill, as it begins to roll down the hill, it picks up more speed and it also picks up more size. So, in other words, our thoughts, as they start to gather momentum, pick up more speed, and they also start to gather other thoughts that are like them and that support them. If you've got good momentum going, if you've got a good train of thought going, well, that feels really, really wonderful. If you have a bad train of thought going that doesn't feel good, well, as it picks up speed and as it picks up momentum, that doesn't feel so great. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for just a second. And I just kind of want to share the story of how it started for me and how this theme came up this morning. I woke up this morning and the first thing that was in my mind was cherry blossoms. So just imagine cherry blossoms for a moment. Pink flowers on a tree. And there was just an image of cherry blossoms in my mind. And cherry blossoms turned to spring and the thoughts of all the plants that are starting to come into bloom. And I imagined inside my own front garden and how we planted gardenia plants last year, and gardenias began blooming. In your mind's eye, you might start to see those white flowers of the gardenias blooming. And I imagine the fragrant scent of those gardenias that I planted because it's one of my favorite smelling flowers. And I imagined the rose bush that we planted, which already is putting out new leaves this year. It's starting to take root and its rose is beginning to blossom now. The first roses of the season are coming. All the plants in the garden, the new leaves coming off them, the jasmine that we planted beginning to get ready to have small, tiny flowers, and imagining the scent of jasmine flowers. And I just started thinking about all this wonderful rain in California and how green the hills will be, and all the grass on the hills and how beautiful it looks with all the green grass. All the baby animals, all the baby sheep and all the calves enjoying the grass. I started thinking about Colorado, where I love so much, and how the snow is beginning to melt now as spring starts to come, and the creeks and the streams are beginning to fill with cool water, how animals are coming out of hibernation, how soon the mountains will be covered with wildflowers, and the baby deers with the spots on their coats are going to be out and frolicking about with their mothers. And on and on and on and on. I let myself start with a very simple thought of cherry blossoms. And cherry blossoms turned into this powerful momentum, excuse me, of happy, good feeling thoughts. So that's an easy technique that you can do if, when you're in a neutral place, you start to find one thought that feels good. A lot of times we'll latch onto a thought that doesn't feel good, and unconsciously we'll start to build momentum out of that. And I won't do it right now because I could easily build momentum down another path. But the little vision of spring and spring flowers and baby deers, that's a reality right now. That is absolutely 100% reality on planet Earth right now. And we could go down any other reality that we want to as well. What we're doing when we practice yoga, if you will, is we are slowing down momentum enough that we can get back to a neutral place. And then from that neutral place, we can consciously begin to decide where we are going to direct and focus our mind. So anytime you notice that you've got momentum going down a path that you don't like, the key is not to you can't just stop all of a sudden. You've got to just slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Take some breaths, do a little meditation, even lie down and take a nap. That'll slow down the momentum, especially during quarantine if you can do it. That'll slow the momentum. And when you notice that you've got good momentum going, go ahead and feed it, think about it, fantasize about it, and just let it build. You'll actually build the shield of positive energy around you just by finding a good momentum path and moving down it. So we'll focus on this a little bit today as we do our practice. Bring your hands together at your heart and let's start the show right now.